Hi, everybody. My name is Joel Walker. I'm the chaplain for McElroy Truck Lines. And I want to tell you today about the chaplaincy program that McElroy has provided for you. Some great things about this program I want you to know. And before I do, let me just tell you a little bit about us. Corporate Chaplains of America, we're based out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. We have about 275 chaplains, and we are in 42 states and in Canada. We cover numerous types of companies, manufacturing companies, of course, trucking industry. We are in Aflac, the duck. We're in Coca-Cola Consolidated. We're in mom and pop shops. We're in body shops. We're in fast food restaurants. We're even in chicken processing plants. We go to wherever an owner wants to show greater care for his people. That's what's happened with us. We partnered with McElroy Truck Lines so that they can show you greater care, because McElroy actually is a great caring company, and people have worked here for numerous years, and the reason they've done that is because this company cares about them and about their families as well. And that also reminds me to let you know that not only is this program for you, but it is for your immediate family and for your spouse, for your children. And so it is my pleasure to be able to serve as your chaplain here in this place. Now, if you're stationed out of the terminal in Pleasant Hill, North Carolina, your chaplain there is Joe Poe, and he will serve you just like I will here, or also down in Texas. And we're just excited to be a part of the McElroy family and to get to know you better. By the way, every Monday you generally see on your Qualcomm a little message, email message. That's from me, and I try to send out something every week just to give you some encouragement while you're out there on the road. A little scripture verse, maybe a little humor, maybe some things, thoughts to ponder. And so if you ever want to respond, please feel free to do so. But I'm that guy that sends out those emails. Well, let me tell you some things about the chaplaincy program, what we do and what we don't do. First, let me tell you what we don't do. The main thing I want you to know about that is this, that as chaplains, we cannot distribute any kind of money. And so if there's a financial need for you, maybe a bill that needs to be paid, or maybe you got thrown into jail, I can't bail you out. Maybe there's some kind of financial crisis that's going on in your life. We can't distribute money. I can get you in touch with people who can help you and post that bail, and help with those bills, or maybe food or some things like that. But we don't distribute any money whatsoever. It's against our policy to do so. So that's really the only negative thing that I've got to share with you today. But let me tell you some other great things today. First off the bat, this program that is offered to you, it is a volunteer program. You do not have to participate in this if you don't want to. Nobody's going to force you to do that. And if you don't ever utilize the program, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't hurt the McElroy's feelings. It's volunteer. It's up to you. You may have a pastor. You may have a church. You may be a pastor. You may have a good support group around you, a good family, good friends. Or you know what? You may not believe in chaplaincy. Or you may not even believe in God. And so you're not going to utilize the chaplain. And that's okay. You do not have to do that. But I want you to know that I am available anytime you need me, 24/7, 365. So it's a volunteer program. The second thing I want you to know is that it is permission-based. If you don't give me permission, I'm not going to go there. For instance, if I'm talking to you and then I say, hey, would you mind if I prayed for you today? And that's seeking permission. And you said, no, I really don't want you to pray for me. Then you know what? I won't do it. I won't pray for you right there on the spot. I will honor that because you didn't give me permission to be able to pray for you. But if you do give me permission, I'll certainly pray for you as well. And there on the spot, either on the phone or in person, whatever the situation is. So it is permission based. All of us, we have things that we really don't want people to know about us. We don't really want to go that deep with other people. And if you ever got to that point in our discussion together, and it's just too deep or too heavy, or someplace you don't want to go, just say, I've had enough, and I don't want to go there any farther. And I will honor that, and I will not press you. And so, unless you give me that permission to go there, I just won't do that. All right. And then also, too, we are confidential. This is the heart and the trust of chaplaincy and chaplaincy programs. And man, when you call me and when we talk together, on the phone or when I see you in person, the things you share with me stay with me. And they don't go anywhere else. I don't share them with the trainers. I don't share them with the McElroys. I don't call your family up and talk to them. I don't spread office gossip, those kind of things. It's confidential and just between us. And I want you to know now there are two areas in which I must break confidentiality. I think you'll understand when I explain those to you. One is in the area of abuse. If you are experiencing firsthand abuse, or you're abusing someone, or there's child abuse, certainly you know that by law I have to break confidentiality, and we have to get help into that situation. There needs to be help in there, and we want to do that. We want to get in there and help out and help bring some calm to that situation. All right. So if there's some type of abuse, also too, if there is, if we're talking and you talk about doing something bodily harm to yourself or to your friends or your neighbor or to somebody else, or if you're planning on taking your life or the life of another person, then you know what? I'm going to break confidentiality and I'm going to get help into that situation. Otherwise, everything you tell me on that phone or in person or by email or text or whatever, that's just between us, and I keep it there, and that just helps me also know how to pray for you, and I certainly will be praying for you in whatever situation you share with me and those kind of things. All right, now I want to tell you how we function as chaplains. First off the bat, you might be thinking, well, it's a chaplain, and that's God and the Bible and probably church. So what denomination are you? Well, I want you to know we function on a non-denominational basis. Now, we believe in God and in the Bible and in Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And so those are our things, that the basis that we come from, the bottom line of our functioning as chaplains. And so we just don't bring denomination into the picture because, you know, some denominations just don't get along. They disagree with one another. So I don't want a barrier between me and you when it comes to talking about what's on your mind, and especially in the area of a denomination or a religion, of those kind of things. So if you're a Baptist, a Methodist, a Catholic, an Alabama fan, whatever you are, whatever your religion is, you know, we don't come in that name, and so we're not going to function like that. I don't want a barrier, and that'll be good. Secondly, too, we function in a non-sectarian way. That's a big word, and let me tell you what that means. It means basically no matter what club or group or social group that you hang with, or who you pay dues to, or what kind of fancy hat you may wear, or any particular mottos or chants that you say out loud. We don't come in that name or function like that, and if you do that, we don't hold that against you. Again, I don't want a barrier between me and you when it comes to talking about what's on your heart. Thirdly, also too, we function in a non-discriminatory basis, so there is no discrimination going on our part toward anyone. You know the laws about that: race, age, sex, creed, those kind of things. And so that's kind of who we are in that sense and how we function. And so I want to also say to you today too that I've been praying for you, and I want to encourage you that if there is a more specific way that I can pray for you, you and your family, or any situation that you're involved in, I would be happy to do that. Just you can send me a text or give me a call on the phone, or just hand me a note, or let me know if you see me in person how I can do that, and I will partner up with you and I will pray for you and for whatever that situation is. And I want you to know that no issue, no matter, no thing is too little or too great for you to call the chaplain and talk to me. Listen, if it's pestering you, then you know what? You may want to give me a call about it. There's also some things that goes on in your life that you don't want to call home to talk to somebody about. You may not want to call your pastor to talk to them about. But listen, I want you to know, please call me. I'll be happy to talk to you and listen to you, give you my perspective if you give me permission to do that. But let me know how I can specifically pray for you. One of our McElroy truck drivers took me real serious on this, and he came in one day and he handed me a half a sheet of notebook paper, and it's listed with names and dates and instances of things he needed me to pray for. He was in some situations that required some legal counsel, and so since December, I've been praying for him on those particular dates. And sometimes he'll send me an email, and I will, excuse me, I will email him back or text him back and say, brother, I'm praying for you today. And so let me know how I can pray for you in a more specific way. Here's why. I have discovered that the more specific you are in your prayer request, the more dynamic the praying is. We all pray general prayers like, God bless me. Well, we're all blessed, but how do you want God to bless you? That's where the specific aspect comes in. People will pray a general prayer like, God, forgive me of my sins. Well, God will say, which ones do you want me to forgive you for? Because he wants you to be more specific in those things. So when you come to me and you give me a specific request, it's like giving me a laser beam to put right on point when I go to God to pray specifically for you. And I would love to do that, love to partner with you. I do that for several people here at McElroy over several different types of things and situations. So it's a pleasure for me to be able to do that for you. Now, let me tell you how you can get a hold of me. I'm on call 24/7, 365. And so you should have a card there handed out to you this morning before we got started. And it's going to look something like this. And it's got my name and the phone number, those kind of great things on there. And the chat number is 877-322-2427. Now, when you dial that number, you're going to get a voice prompt, and it's going to say to you, please enter the Chaplain extension. There's those last four little digits on that card there, 5006. Now, for Joe Poe, I don't know his number, but when you get to North Carolina, they can certainly get that for you. It's four different digits, or you can call me. Either one doesn't really matter. The big thing is that you call one of us and let us assist you in whatever's going on in your life. So when you call that number, you'll get a voice prompt from me, and I'm going to ask you to leave your name and your phone number and a brief message, and I'm going to call you back in 10 minutes. And why 10 minutes? Because it was important enough for you to call me, so it's important enough for me to call you back. Now, if I don't call you back in 10 minutes, I want you to call me again, because I could be handling another crisis situation going on out there, and you never know. But also too, hey, I get a text with your phone number on it, and I may text you right back and say, this is the chaplain, and I'm tied up right now. And so, but I'll be getting with you real soon. So don't give up. We will have that conversation. It's not an if I call you back. It's when I call you back. I will be calling you back as quickly as I can so that we can have that conversation, and I can certainly know what's going on in your life, try to give you perspective, and with your permission, of course, pray for you over the phone. And so also, too, we have a chat app that is available for you, for your family as well. And by the way, again, this phone number is good for your spouse or for your kids if they need to call and talk with the chaplain as well. And again, it is confidential when they call. The chat app, you can go to mychaplain.org, and you can download that app onto your phone. And there's certainly got some great resources on there. I think you'll find stuff in there about finances, and things in there about family, and things about marriage, and things about spiritual life. And I am a chaplain, and so I would love to talk to you about spiritual things in your life. I would love to share with you one day about my faith, and I would love to hear about your faith or non-faith, whatever it is. And I would love to have a great, decent conversation with you, and us still kind of be friends, even though we may not see eye to eye in that situation. But I do want you to know that if you do not have a personal relationship with God, I would be more than happy to walk you through that and help you to get to know Him more personally for your life. All right. Now I want you to know that again, I've been praying for you, and I'm going to pray for you often. And here's how I'm going to pray for you, especially today in my prayers. I want to pray that God will bless you financially, and that He'll prosper you. And I pray that God will meet your needs, but not your greeds. And Zig Ziglar once said, "Money's not everything, but it is right up there next to oxygen." And so in this industry and in this job and with this company, you're going to make some very good money. God is going to bless you, and I'm praying that you will have great wisdom with handling your finances. Also want to pray for you and for your family while you're out there on the road for safety and protection. As you know, today in America, people can't drive. And especially little cars, they do not know how to show respect to big trucks. They don't understand that you're carrying 80,000 pounds behind you, and you just can't stop on a dime. And so there's all kinds of distractions out there around you as well. So I'm praying for your safety, but I'm also praying for your family back home, and that they will be safe and protected as they go and do their everyday life with work and with school. And sometimes the kids get sick, and different things go on. And so I'm praying for them back home as well, that God will just bless you with safety and protection there. Also want to pray for you that God will give you the power and the endurance to do this job. I have discovered in life that all of us need a power greater than ourselves living inside of us and working through us. And that power is not willpower. Willpower is very limited. But the power I'm talking about is God's power. And you can certainly have that in your life. You can certainly utilize that in your life. And He'll give you the power every day to make it through each day. Some days are going to be real tough. Some days are going to be real long. And you're going to need God's dependence, or you're going to be depending on Him, right? And so, listen, I worked for 7 years for Chick-fil-A. And I learned in a hurry that a 55-year-old man going to work around all the 16 to 22-year-old flat belly limberbacks, was going to take a lot of power. So I began to pray every day. God would give me the power. He'd enable me to do the work, but also began to pray and say a Bible verse each day, and that was Philippians 4:13. You may want to remember that. You may want to just jot that down. And the Bible says this: I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And when I prayed that every day, I prayed it numerous times on some days, and because restaurant work was very, very hard, but I loved it. Loved doing all the things we did and learned a lot from that. But I learned also to depend on God to give me the strength and power to do that. So I'm praying for you for that with your work, and giving you, because there are some people, they just don't want to do flatbed because flatbed is a lot of work. Yeah, it's hard work. And but you guys, you've come this far. I'm excited for you. I'm proud of you. You keep that up and keep that mentality, that work ethic going there. So I'm praying for that for you. Also, I want to pray for you spiritually. I don't know where you are spiritually. I'd love to know. Love to have that conversation with you. If you ever want to talk about it, feel free to call me. I'm not going to call you out of the blue and say, hey, tell me about your spiritual life or lack of spiritual life. I don't do that. But if you ever want to call and talk about it, I am so available and ready to talk to you. Well, we're excited you're a part of the McElroy family. We're excited for you today graduating and being able to leave out of here and go out. And, when you leave, you're going to be serving McElroy Truck Lines. You're going to go to a company and pick up those loads there, and you're going to be serving that company. And then you're going to deliver that load, and you're going to drop it off at another company. You're going to be serving them. And all the while, you're also going to be serving your family because you're out there in the workforce, and you're making great money to provide for them. So that good servant mentality and attitude is a great thing for you to have. One other thing I do want to say to you before we are finished with this presentation today is that later on you're going to be tempted to jump ship. You're going to be tempted to maybe look for another job. Maybe another trucking company is going to wave maybe a tad more money to you or make promises to you. McElroy says you will be home on Fridays, and they guarantee you're home pretty much. Unless something comes up, you're going to be home every Friday. Some companies will say, you know what, yes, we're going to have you home on Friday, but they don't tell you which Friday it is. All right, so it's a guarantee here at McElroy. It's another great benefit that they have for you. And but sometimes you're going to be tempted. Maybe it's going to be too tough, and you're going to be looking around. Maybe you're just a little frustrated. We all get frustrated. But I'm going to ask you to do this. If you would do me a big favor, before you make that final decision, if you would just give me a call. Call that number, 877-322-2427, extension 5006. And let's have a conversation. It will be confidential. I'll listen to you. I'll give you my perspective if you want me to. But I promise you, I will never tell you to leave. I'll never tell you to stay. I will just help you to make the right decision that's for you and for your family. For some, it may be time to go. For others, it may be time to stay. I've discovered that it's not God's will for us to run from difficult situations. And so I want to encourage you in that. And remember that the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. The grass is always greener on top of the septic tank, right? And so we're glad you're a part of the family. Congratulations. And listen, call me. I'll be happy to help you in any way. Keep watching on Mondays, those Qualcomms. Share those with your family. Maybe share those with some of your friends as well. And it's a pleasure to be your chaplain. And I'm praying for you to have great success with this company. Have a great day.